Alright, so we got a banger here. So Matthew Semelsberger versus Khaos Williams. I love how everyone just calls him Khaos. But yeah, I think most of this fight's going to be played out in the feet. And, both these guys can crack. We saw one punch knockout power of Semelsberger, and we know Khaos Williams has one punch knockout power for sure. So I think Semelsberger is going to force the action. So he likes coming forward. He likes the forward pressure. He doesn't like taking backward steps at all. And for Khaos Williams, I think he's most effective when he's countering, so when he is on the back foot and looking for that counter too. And when he does connect, he does have touch of death power in both hands. Like, the guy has just crazy raw power. And, he's got nice counter 2, nice counter 3. Not the most not the most perfect mechanics on his punches, but when he does hit you, he just, lights go out. And for Semelsberger, he likes to get in the pocket, throw boxing combinations. I'd say the favourite strike of both these guys would be the counter 2, so if they start trading counter 2s, I think someone's going out. But for Khaos Williams, if you do force the issue on him, if you try and use a lot of feints and you try and make him go first, he does leave a lot of openings. So when he does blitz, he'll go for a blitz 1-2, blitz 3-2, something like that. He often leads with the right hand in the blitz actually. He'll go for a 2-3. More often than not, he's leading with the right hand, and that kind of leaves him open, doesn't set up his openings, and kind of telegraphs what he wants to do. And he does square his hips when he is blitzing, has the chin in the air, so he is there to be caught when he is blitzing, but generally he has enough firepower to kind of dissuade opponents from trying to play the counter game with him. But also, just at distance, his jab defense isn't the best, doesn't move his head, doesn't really see the lead hand coming too often, so, you can pick him apart at distance, but he does have the equalizer, which is the touch of death power, which I've already talked about. And, for the grappling for these two, both these guys aren't the most skilled grapplers. Khaos Williams will go for takedowns. They are quite sloppy, more brute strength, tries to muscle down his takedowns, and it's going to work on the regional scene, but probably not in the UFC. Maybe against Semelsberger, though, he has really bad takedown defense. But yeah, for Semelsberger, he has decent scrambles. He has good understanding of positions, I feel, but, he's a little slow with his mechanics and with his, just physically a little slow on the ground. But yeah, he seems to know the transitions quite well. He will, get there, but just I think his, physical limitations kind of slow him down a little bit. And when Khaos Williams gets on top, he has hard elbows with full ground and pound. He'll posture up in guard and throw, straight punches from standing guard. And, he carries that power. So, he does have pretty, devastating ground and pound, honestly. But yeah, he has a few grappling tendencies that do get him in trouble. He gives his back to get up to his feet. His takedowns are quite sloppy. We've already talked about that. So yeah, just general, his ground game, I think it needs a bit of work. How these guys win fights. So for Khaos Williams, I think we've already discussed it to death, but yeah, he has touch of death power, one punch KO power in both hands, has good athleticism, helps him out a lot when his technique kind of fails him a little bit, but also has killer instinct. If he does hurt you, he will go for the finish, and we saw that in the Alex Morono fight. Generally, when he does hurt you, he puts you out. And for Semelsberger, he pushes a solid pace. He will slow marginally in high-paced fights after around 1.5 to 2 rounds, but he does push a solid pace and he does fight through fatigue well. How these guys lose fights. So for Semelsberger, I think it's the aggressive style. It comes with the territory. You are going to walk on a big power punches, you are going to walk on a blast double takedowns, but that just comes with the territory. And for Williams, it's the striking tendencies that we talked about before. Mostly when he's blitzing in, leaves himself quite open. Also the low volume, comes with the counter striking style that he likes to, employ. So you are going to be quite low volume and getting out volume, especially if the opponent has a nice jab. We talked about how he defends the jab before. Also his ground game and his just pure Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu looks really bad. Looks really, pretty much non-existent. So yeah, I think, opponents would be wise to try to exploit that in the future. Path to victory for these two. So for Khaos Williams, look to keep the volume up. Look for the counter 2 when he throws a leg kick. Look for low calf kicks of your own. Semelsberger is quite heavy on the lead leg. And for Semelsberger, look to pop the jab out, move your feet. Just don't, kind of stand in front of the guy and trade shots with him, because he does have crazy power. So, look to be smart, look to feint a lot, pop the jab out. Just move a little bit more than you would in your just general style. Also look for takedowns and get top control and try and take the back when he tries to get up. We talked about that tendency that he has before. And for Khaos Williams, look for the double leg as well when he does, because he's quite aggressive. So he has had a lot of trouble defending double legs, blast double legs in particular, in the past. So yeah, definitely look for that. Look for top control, and then look for ground and pound from there. So how I see this fight going, so I think Semelsberger should use pretty much whatever wrestling he has here. I think Khaos is just a little too dangerous on the feet, and Semi is, hittable enough that it's a concern for me in this fight. Like with Williams, his boxing technique isn't great, but he earns the respect of his opponents by hitting them and just displaying his power, basically. I think Semi hits quite hard, but he doesn't have the touch of death power that Khaos possesses. Like, he's not a one-punch KO guy either. He does have a bit of power, but I think that one-punch KO on Jason Witt, I think that was more due to Jason Witt's chin being absolute glass, in my opinion. Khaos likes to walk opponents onto his shot. He's not as effective on the front foot when he's pressing the action and all that kind of stuff. So I think he's going to be in the back foot here. I think Semi's going to be pressing forward. In the Michel Pereira fight, Michel got him to advance and got him to lead, and that, left the openings for Pereira to, land his shots and look for his spots. But I think Semi's going to, bring it. I think he's going to come forward, kind of play into Khaos' game. So I think he's going to bring out the volume in Khaos Williams, and because I think he'll likely be having success with his hands, and Semi doesn't feint much, so I don't think he's going to be biting on too much. Whereas you kind of got to feint the guy, and you kind of got to, get yourself going at distance, make him take the front foot. And yeah, he just never really got going in the Pereira fight, but I think he's going to have a lot of success early in this fight against the aggressive Semi, so I think he does up the volume a little bit. Both these guys are terrible grapplers, but I give the slight advantage to Khaos since he goes for the takedowns a little bit more often than Semi. But both have, terrible takedown defense and terrible bottom games. I don't think Semi's going to wrestle here, honestly. I think, I don't think he's going to take the path of least resistance, because he had a guy like Carlton Minus in front of him who has zero takedown defense, and he was pretty happy just to stand and trade, and, he did win the fight, but he doesn't seem like the guy that's going to go for the obvious game plan. Like, the commentary did say in that fight that Semi does value entertaining over winning, so yeah, I think he's going to bang here. I think he's going to bang, and if he does, I think Khaos is going to eventually find the chin. Even if he doesn't, I think he might just kind of wrestle fuck Semi and just kind of, win by decision that way. But yeah, I think Khaos Williams does win. I'm not confident, but that's the pick. And let's go have a look at the betting lines. The prediction is Khaos Williams. I think he wins by decision. I think Semi, takes the damage on the feet, but also I think there's going to be quite a fair bit of wrestling in this one. Just my gut feeling, but I don't think he should be favoured as much as the bookies have him at the moment. I only slightly lean him. I think he wins 55% of the time. Should be a slight favourite, but not this much in my opinion. But I don't really want to bet Semelsberger because of the takedown defense. I'm more looking to live bet Semelsberger. If he's not getting lit up too much on the feet and his chin seems to be holding up and he's not getting taken down at will, then I'd live bet Semelsberger because I do believe he has the better cardio. Fight goes the distance is what I'm looking at. I'm expecting them to put this price to be quite juiced. So I'm hoping to get around $2.20. Plus $2.20 or $3.20. For fight goes the distance, because I do believe, gut feeling they're going to wrestle a lot, and both guys are pretty durable. So, and both these guys have good chins, so I wouldn't be surprised if this does go the distance. But more often than not, I do see a finish happening. But yeah, I can definitely see it going the distance if it does get quite sloppy.